it's so misunderstood. And I think because, you know, at the end of the day, anti-Semitism is the oldest form of prejudice in the world, and it predates all of these other prejudices. Aside from misogyny, actually, I think misogyny probably beats out, but, you know, half of the world are female. If we're talking about the oldest form of prejudice that affects the minority community, it's anti-Semitism, hands down. And it's so wildly misunderstood, but not only is it misunderstood, but how much access do people have to real understanding and how much willingness. And once you start to scratch the surface of this, you realize how institutionalized the hatred and the suspicion around Jews is, and the lack of willingness to really learn about Jew hatred and where it comes from, and how it mutates itself through every generation, just in the slight, you know, to slightly moves to the side in every generation to look a little bit different, you know. And I think that's why it's rejected, but it's also rejected because Jews don't fit into any of these new theories. So it's much harder to, it's much easier to erase us from the process. You know, if we look at America and the rise of, or not the rise, but the reclamation of these race theories that we're now using as the prism by which to look at everything, whether it involves race or not. Jews don't fit into that race theory because we're not, you know, we're an ethno-religion.
As in the right says that Jews aren't white, and
right.
the left says Jews are white.
Yes, exactly. So I think it's much more attractive for people to just ignore us, or to just try to not create a conversation around our identity, because it's too much hassle, because it's so much easier to view the world in a binary. And all of our sociopolitics has become obsessed with binary, and Jews cannot fit into either side of any of these conversations. So we find ourselves as, you know, 0.02% of the world population, few of us who exist in these spaces, trying to get people to engage in a far more nuanced dialogue in a world where everything has to fit into a 280-character tweet. It's very, very difficult to get people to, you know, to try and turn off their emotional response and start thinking. And I think a lot of the anti-Semitism or the ignoring that I have experienced has been because of an emotional response of, you know, almost maybe an imposter syndrome. I don't know. I try to see the benefit of, you know, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt and see the best in them, because I don't want to believe that people are inherently anti-Semitic or that they're inherently bad. But the lack of willingness to really sit down and listen to me is appalling, and I have to try and figure out why that is. And I think some of it is an emotional reaction pertaining to ignorance and lack of confidence, and also truly maybe just an inherent suspicion of what a Jew has to say.